Hello, and I hope you're doing really well as I am on this fine day. And today we're going to talk about garden cleanup rules for less pain. So what happens in the office at this time of year is that a lot of people come in with aches and pains because they've overdone it in the garden. And so before they get to that, I thought I'd put a little bit of a reminder on things you can do to reduce the pain that you create from working so hard in the garden. So I know all my friends, colleagues, and other manual practitioners, from physiotherapists, massage therapists, acupuncturists, shiatsu therapists, reflexologist, all of my friends that do all of the body work, they all complain about the same thing, is that people come in, they've overdone it and really hurt themselves. So let's take a look at some of these rules. One of the most important thing is to work at a slow and steady pace. Now the reason for this is that if you overwork your muscles right away, when you get in there and you start working like crazy, I have to admit I do that a lot myself, so I know from experience, your muscles don't get a chance to catch up with it, especially if you're not used to doing that work all summer long. All of a sudden now you're going to do a huge amount of heavy work. So the point is on this one is a slow and steady pace. And we know from research that if you work at 30% of your capabilities, then and slow it down, then your muscles will get a chance to work, but it won't cause your muscles to tense up too much. It'll allow the circulation to continue to go through the muscles, allow your muscles to get the nutrients they need to keep working and get rid of the waste products they need to get to keep working, and not build it up so that after you're finished you feel like you've been run over by a truck. And so if we look at this person, he's got his head forward, and that's going to create a lot of neck pain and a lot of stiffness in his neck. So check your posture too when you're doing these things. The other important thing is take frequent breaks. Don't just keep going on and on and on and on and on. Although you're tempted to, as I am, to get the job done. Let's just keep going till we get it done. Take frequent breaks. Your body will thank you. The next day and the day after, you won't end up with delayed onset muscle soreness, as we call it, or the DOMS. You'll feel so much better. You might not feel you worked as hard, but you'll feel much better. And hey, you can always go back and do a little bit more work. So space it out. Take it easy and take frequent breaks. Now here's the key one. Don't stay in one position too long, because what we can see with this diagram is that around the ankle here, with your ankle like that for a long period of time, it's going to put a lot of stress on the joints. It's going to stretch these muscles in the front of your leg and cramp up these muscles in the back of your leg. So when you're on your knees, it puts a lot of pressure on your kneecap, not a good thing, and in your hips. The muscles in your butt area, called the gluteus maximus, they tend to not be utilized a lot because we sit a lot, and so they become quite weak, and they have an effect on the lower back muscles because they're connected together in what we call the kinetic chain, or kinetic linking, or recruitment patterns. And if your back is too curved, it causes the joints in your back to become overstressed. Lots of stress on your back joints, becomes quite uncomfortable over time. And as we know, that pain between our shoulder blades, when that gets in there, that gets pretty darn annoying. And again, shoulders, a lot of pressure on the shoulders. And the shoulders are pretty sensitive, and you don't want to create problems in there, because once you create an irritation, inflammation in your shoulder, you're not going to be doing much gardening for quite a while. So don't do that. Take it easy. Watch your position. Here again, lots of pressure on your elbows. Now, I didn't talk about the wrist area, and one thing about the wrist area, don't work with your wrist bent like this all the time. Again, it stresses all these joints, small joints in here. Over time, it's going to create a lot of discomfort, a lot of irritation in there, and all your forearm muscles are going to get overstretched and overworked, and not going to be too much fun at all. And of course, your neck. Don't keep your neck in one position, because as you're in one position going and doing your work, you're going to create lots of tension in the back of your neck muscles. So remember not to do that. And how about break up the loads? Don't do super heavy loads. Take a little bit at a time. Don't fill up your wheelbarrow so it's overflowing. Do a little bit, dump it, that kind of thing. And your body will appreciate you so much more for doing that. So just a few little tips that you might want to take into consideration when you're working in the gardens. And thanks for tuning in.